some people there already. Great, welcome. My internet is a bit slow at the moment, so hopefully this will work. Hopefully you can hear me okay, and hopefully you'll be able to see the cards to the extent that you can see which cards they are. We're going to get some quicker internet as from kind of Tuesday. The guy's meant to come and flick a switch in the street. We've paid already, and it's going to become wonderfully fast and fantastic. So as from Tuesday, I come into the 21st century. So we don't really have enough people online to start reading and stuff like that. So I'll start off by just doing a quick reading for the session. Okay, 3 cards. Me, you, and the session. And feel free to say hi if you're online. I hope the chat's working. The session. Today's session. This evening's session. It's evening for me. Hi Redwing. Hi Nick. Great, nice to see you. Thanks for tuning in. Okay. That's a card for me for this evening session. I'm feeling like I'm in a good safe space. And that's a card for you, my dear friends who've tuned in. Maybe you're not feeling very strong because it's December and the nights are drawing in and your energy's gone out the window and Christmas is just all too much. I know that feeling. But anyway, what's the result? What's the reading going to be like? King of Wands. Fantastic. Lots of fire for us, lots of sense of direction. We're going to become charismatic and we're going to be the leaders in our own lives after this evening session. So we can chat about tarot. Hello, Be Curious. Welcome. We can chat about tarot. You can ask me anything about tarot reading, or of course you can ask me for a free short reading for yourself. I do have a topic for this evening, just to get the conversation going while we wait for our friends to join us. My question to you is this. What are the limits of tarot reading? For example, are there things a tarot reader shouldn't do? Oh, sorry to hear that, Be Curious. Okay, my question for just for a quick chat. What are the limits of tarot reading? What questions should a tarot reader not accept? Things like that. Is it okay, for example, when someone asks the tarot reader, what is this person X thinking? How does he feel about me? Is it okay to ask the tarot cards to pry into the mind of someone who hasn't been consulted? So that's my question for you guys today. What are the limits of tarot reading? We don't have to talk about it. It's just, beginning of the session. Hello from Brazil. Nice to see you, Maria. Nicholas. Do I read playing cards? No, I don't read playing cards. I would if I had to. If I was stuck in a remote cottage on a Scottish island and there was only a pack of playing cards, I would have to, wouldn't I? There'd be no major arcana and there'd be no knights. And I would just have to say, well, spades are swords, clubs are batons, cups, hearts are probably cups, and diamonds are probably, coins, even though it's disputable. I'd have to make up my mind about that. And then I'd have to say kings, queens, and pages, because the jack is a page, he's not really a knight. And then I would just have to read the playing cards, wouldn't I? Hi, David. Sorry, I'm going up and down the chat here. What does David say? This week's questions for you. Reading up on history of tarot, discovering the changes way to the deck. Yeah. In your opinion, does it matter that the lovers was singular rather than plural, l'amoureux, and switching justice and strength positions? David, I don't really think it matters about switching the justice and strength positions. Um, I've had that. I've used Rider-Waite-Smith since I was a teenager, and I've had that all my life. I think of strength as number 8 and justice as number 11. I think of strength as the Leo card and justice as the Libra card. That's why the Golden Dawn did that, because they wanted to force tarot to be more like astrology, and that suits me. I mean, tarot is such a construction. It's been constructed over the centuries. I think you choose the bits that you like. You know, you can choose to say, no, I will work with the Marseille deck, or yes, I will work with the Rider-Waite-Smith and derivatives. You just get the one that you're most familiar with, because the point is you're just trying to give yourself an excuse to be, in a sense, psychic, or to open up to your multidimensional self, your dream self, and or your big brain, or whatever you want to call it. So it's all an excuse. You can see, you can get information for looking at tea leaves. What was the other question? The lovers was original singular. Well, yeah, interestingly, that's one of the cards in the Rider-Waite-Smith that I don't like. I prefer the Marseille one. And my ideal tarot deck would be a blend of Marseille and Rider-Waite-Smith. I prefer, apart from the order of strength and justice, which I don't care about, but I prefer the Marseille major arcana. I prefer the Lovers card. I prefer the Old Lovers card. I'm not particularly interested in Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden. I like this thing of this man deciding between, sometimes it's deciding between good girl and bad girl, isn't it? Sometimes it feels that there's his mother and his wife and he's deciding. So I use the Lovers card as a part of a decision which invites you to become more mature, you know. I decide on, for example, a good life partner rather than dating a centerfold, you know, that sort of that decision which is mature and which will lead you down a better route than going, for example, just going out with someone just because you fancy them, you know, like crazy. So yeah, it's an interesting question. And by the way, David, I thought about you over the week, and because you were asking me to recommend books which you could tell you the meanings of cards, and I actually can't, because no one book has got a good list in it. But I have started to make some videos in which I give my own keywords. So I will release them in January, and then I'll just go through the deck and I'll give you some keywords for each card. And hopefully that will be a resource. Hello, Miss Moonlight. Nice to see you. And Maria Inez, if he loves me. I agree. If people ask that question, if people come to the tarot reader and say, does he love me? I totally get it that that's exactly the sort of question that you want to know, because it can be driving you mad, you know, does he love me? And I think it's such a responsibility. I'm not quite sure whether I'm happy answering that question. So I normally do a relationship spread when someone asks that, and I just look at the energies in the relationship spread. On the other hand, I think if someone comes to a tarot reader and asks a big question like that, and the answer could have, you know, they could get the wrong answer. It could get an answer that is disturbing to them. I think everyone who consults a tarot reader has to take a responsibility for consulting a tarot reader. And in the end, you know, I say what I see on the cards. So I need to be ethical, and I need to be responsible in the way I talk to clients and querents. But the client/querent has to take responsibility for asking. And actually, I'll tell you something, I'll tell you an anecdote. One of the worst experiences I ever had, I was reading in a fair, like sort of like, I don't know, a new age fair of some sort, and someone had lent me their booth, and I was sitting in a booth. I was quite a baby tarot reader, very traditional tarot reader in a booth. There I was with my pack of cards. And a woman came in, asked me for a quick half-hour reading, and asked me to tell her about her marriage. And I put the cards down, and I thought, well, her husband is a bit of a jerk, and he doesn't deserve her, and he's a lesser personality than her, and it's not a very good marriage, is it? But of course, then I didn't have the nerve to say that. And I just waffled on about this and that and the other. And at the end of the reading, she said, "You have said nothing. I am not satisfied with that reading." And that was a big, big lesson, because I should have somehow told her what I saw on the cards, no matter how difficult that was. And she then would have had to take responsibility for that. The cards would have told her that her husband was not worthy of her, and it was not a good match. So you live and learn. Everyone is used to getting fairy tale readings on YouTube. They pull the tower and say they regret ruining things and want you back. Yeah. But they usually they want a miracle. When I was reading on a Facebook group, I just got almost all love questions, just people coming in from all over the world. This is what we're doing here on YouTube. Is I guess it's people who know me, and so they're tuning in. You guys are tuning in because you want to get readings from me, and I do a particular kind of tarot, and I do a particular kind of tarot tutorials. So in a sense, you guys are my natural audience. When I was reading on a Facebook tarot group, doing lives like this, I just got people from all over the globe who just wanted to ask the fortune teller stuff, and 90% of it was, what does he feel about me? Which was difficult. Miss Moonlight. The cards could tell you today that the relationship will end. Then you make changes based on the reading which voids the previous reading. Or not much changes and things carry on. The butterfly effect. Yeah, that's right. Well, I think the thing is that at every moment of life, we are at a fork in the roads. We're at the crossroads. We can choose. And so we're constantly creating new possibilities and new probabilities. We're constantly creating the future, you know. So tarot readers, we can pick up on the present, but we can't really pin down the future, because the future is ours to create, isn't it? Maria says, poor you. Be Curious says, for the love-obsessed clients, I'd rather do readings for them around their blockages to love, etc. Yes, absolutely. Put the focus on their end, and why they may not be manifesting in the relationship they want. I think that's absolutely right. And I think that when you're sitting down in a room with the cards and with a client, you can really do that, can't you? You can tactfully turn it round, and you can tactfully say, well, you're looking for love. Let's look for love. Let's look for the lover's card in the tarot pack. Let's see what cards are around it. And then you can tactfully start to talk about them. I think that's right. L. Phillips. Hello, L. Phillips. We're talking about the limits of tarot reading today. But we can also talk about other things, and I can do readings for you. That is partly why I'm here. Maria says, tarot helps you to see the signs behind the scenes. Nice. Linda says, hi. Hi, Linda. L. Phillips, hi. So I got a nice reading for the session today. Can't remember where I put it now. Before some of you guys came online, I'm in a nice safe space in my flat in Berlin, and I'm feeling quite comfortable. And the tarot thinks that some of you guys are feeling a bit low on strength, maybe because of the dark winter evenings. But the session's going to be really good. It's going to give us King of Wands energy. So we're going to be running around like Julius Caesar after this. Miss Moonlight says, yes, we can only speak on the now and possibilities not absolutes. I agree, Robert. Yeah, it's absolutely true. They say, you know, we write our future all the time. They also say we write our past all the time, and that we should, that it's healthy to be constantly, in a sense, recreating the meaning of the past. Okay, well, let me carry on telling you about what's going on my end. I have got 3 decks here. I've got my 2 trusty workman-like decks. I've got Morgan Greer inner tin, bridge size, and Aquarian inner tin, bridge size. And these are the ones which really fit on the table, and I really trust them. I know them both very well. And my featured deck for this evening is the Melanated Classic Tarot. Now this is a bit of it's by Julia Goolsby and Ubre Tronshaw. In a sense, it's a bit of an oddity. It comes from good people who are obviously very into what they're doing, and I think they do classes and things. It's got a slightly sort of religious feeling, the website where this comes from. I hope I'm not misrepresenting them. And it's a really, really nice reimagining of the Rider-Waite-Smith with people of colour in all the roles. And I love it, not just because it sort of corrects you know, the bias of the past, but also because it's a new colour palette. It's an entirely different colour palette. It's warmer. It's just rather exciting. It's got yellows and purples. It's way different from Pamela Coleman-Smith's colour palette. Look at that death. So it's a lovely pack to have. The Greer in the tarot was the one I named, little guy. Maria. My husband doesn't believe in nothing, but he asks me to read tarot cards to help him to understand what is happening, and he can't see clearly. Do you mean see clearly? He asks you to read tarot cards to help him to understand what's happening. People need all the help they can get in life, I think, actually. We all do. Does anyone want me to read? It's 20 past 6 GMT. I haven't done any readings for you yet. If not, guys, we are talking about the limits of tarot reading this evening. For example, I'm interested in finding out what the limits are. I'm interested in pushing it. And there was a time when I discovered the shorts on YouTube. I made little short, tiny videos in which I asked the tarot weird questions just to see what would happen. I asked the tarot, what's the meaning of Brexit? I asked the tarot, I did a longer video where I asked the tarot, you know, what about this new king in England, King Charles? What's it going to be with him? And I guess I was just allowing myself to tune into other frequencies, and I got some ideas. Clearly, it all comes through me. It comes through my mind. So if it's a political question, it comes through my, political viewpoint. Miss Moonlight, a week ahead reading, please. Okay, let's do a week ahead reading. I've got the devil in me. Let's do it with the melanated. So Miss Moonlight would like a week ahead reading. then Linda. I'll make an order here. Miss Moonlight, Linda, okay. So a week ahead first for Miss Moonlight, and then I'll do something for Linda. Week ahead for Miss Moonlight. Okay, Miss Moonlight, your card for the week ahead, your issue is the reverse Knight of Wands. It's so it feels like one gets towards the end of the year, and if one is a dynamic person, one wants to keep pushing ahead and getting things done, maybe being ambitious or maybe being creative, and it's difficult, isn't it? As you coming sort of on a collision course with Christmas, things kind of slow down and there is less room for, I think, pushing ahead and expressing yourself. You kind of have to slow down. The whole world is slowing you down. So what's the answer? You've got 3 suggestions cards. You've got the 9 of Cups. You know, you might as well enjoy. I mean, this is the Christmas card, isn't it? It's the Christmas turkey and the Christmas pudding card. You might as well enjoy it. You might as well start eating those mince pies. I mean, what I'm saying is just like give in to it to some extent, to that feeling of feasting and abundance. And, you know, we do Christmas in order to assure ourselves that we're going to physically survive the winter. We fill our bellies, don't we? And this is the full belly card. Reversed moon, don't go through this alone. Don't isolate yourself. Don't think of this time as a test. It's not. You can be with people. And world reversed, accept that you're not going to get things finished. You know, you're not going to get things rounded up in the next week. You have to let it go to some extent. Okay. That's what I would say for your week ahead. Now, guys, I just need to turn down the radiator. It's really hot in here. Okay. Remy. Linda says, I'll take you up on that. January. L. Phillips. I've asked about Harry and Meghan. Lol, lol. Asking the tarot questions. Okay, so Be Curious would like a reading. I'm just making a list here to keep the names in order. Maria, wow, that's a big question, isn't it? But we'll see. Remy. Okay, so I've got here, we've done one for Miss Moonlight, then we've got Linda, we've got Be Curious, we've got Maria and Remy, okay? We've certainly got time for all those. I'm just doing really 5-minute readings at the moment, or even quicker sometimes. Let me go back up the chat and see how Linda phrased her reading. A general reading for January. Okay, Linda, I'm going to stay with my issue and suggestions spread for you. Linda in January. Okay. King of Pentacles. Okay. Okay. I'm going to put this on the magical magnetic clipboard for you, Linda. We've got the Sun as your issue for January. I would read that. Here we are. We've got the Sun, and then we've got the suggestions: King of Pentacles, Tower, Justice. Issue, recognition, reward for the work you've been doing. That seems to be an issue, and that's what you're hoping for at the moment. And that seems to be an underlying factor in your kind of mood and your feelings about the coming month. Now, the question is, will you get that recognition in January? I mean, I feel this recognition that you're looking for is a longer term thing than January. But how can you deal with that feeling in that month ahead? We have the King of Pentacles, who is a benefactor, might be a boss. And we've got a Tower and we've got a Justice. Now, Tower's a strange card, isn't it? I mean, I don't read it as disaster, but I do read it as a kind of I read it as driving the devils out of the house. And I read that psychologically, that when you see the Tower, it means that things happen which give you an opportunity to face your demons. In other words, the things that you need the things that you need to face down, the voices and beliefs in your head that you need to face down and deal with, and drive them out of your psychology in order to, in a sense, to get ahead in life. So there may be anxious, stressful events in January, but they are an opportunity for you to dissolve these negative beliefs or problematic beliefs and to become stronger and more functional. And the advice is to be as rational as possible in this month, to be balanced, to think about it, to be fair with yourself and with everyone concerned. Okay. A deep breath. That was a reading for Linda. Be curious. Let's see. Be curious. I would love a reading, please. What can I do to manifest work that will energize and fulfill me? Right now, I'm not in a good place with work and it is draining all my energy. Okay. What can I do what can Be Curious do to manifest work that will energize and fulfill them? Right now, they are not in a good place and it is draining all their energy. I'm using neutral pronouns at the moment because I don't know what people's gender is. Okay, so Be Curious is manifest work that will energize and fulfill them. Okay, let's see what the issue and the advice is for Be Curious regarding work that will energize and fulfill them. Manifest that work for Be Curious. Ooh, okay. King of Rods, Two of Rods. Hmm. Okay, well, your issue is King of Rods. I think. You're welcome, Linda. The King of Rods is the card which has some resonances with Julius Caesar, who was a very successful person. He was very pushy. I think, did he make himself emperor? No, not quite. He wanted to, probably. He was murdered before that happened. But he conquered England, didn't he? I came, I saw, I conquered. He was a real leader. He was very charismatic. So he had a hell of a career. He conquered France as well. And it looks to me like you are looking for an opportunity for a leadership role. Be curious. So it looks also to me like you have quite. It looks like you're ambitious, and that's good. You've got 3 suggestions cards, and I'll put them on the magic clipboard. It's a bit like a TV show, isn't it? With various little props that come up again and again. That, be curious, is your issue card, King of Rods. And these are suggestions for getting there or manifesting. 2 of Rods reversed, Magician, Judgment reversed. Okay, I'm going to let you have a look at those, then I'm going to read them for you. Well, you want to manifest this rather exciting work possibility for yourself. So that is a slightly negative energy which is in the advice position, which for me always means acceptance. So the first thing to do is to accept the limits of what you can do at the moment. Okay, you're not fully you're not in a position of power at the moment, so accept that, let it go, and move on to this energy, which is Magician. Now, Magician is magical, and Magician is a card of fake it until you make it. So it might be that you need to decide. Okay, I would say you paint a picture of yourself as this very capable and successful person, and try to imitate that picture. Try to play that role as much as you can. It may even be good to dress up as that successful person. How does that successful person, if you look into the future and say to yourself, imagine yourself as this successful person in this charismatic leadership position, maybe meditate and think to yourself, what does that person wear? How does that person behave? How does that person travel to work or whatever? I'm getting clothes. I somehow feel I want you to take on this role, and so imitate your future successful self. And Judgment reversed. I want you to be realistic. I want you to be in this for the long haul. It's not going to be an overnight matter of um, leaping out of your grave into a great big resurrection, career resurrection. It's going to take time, but if you hold that vision in your head for just hold it in your head all the time, you do eventually become your thoughts, don't you? You become what you think about, so it will eventually work. Deep breath there. That was my reading for Be Curious. I've got Maria next on my list. Let's see what Maria said. And I'm just going to check down the list. Then Remy. Hello, Irina. You're welcome, Miss Moonlight. Then Muskan has a question. Hello, Muskan. Irina. Sounds like a complicated question, that one. And a question from L. Phillips. No, I don't know that system of timing. But I'm going to go down to Maria's question. What can we expect from the near future in the Earth? Okay. What can we expect in the near future from the near future in the Earth? That's a huge question. Let's ask the cards just to speak to us as a little group here, and we can all look at them and see what we think, what we see. We have a Five of Cups and a reversed Page of Swords. So in the near future, I suppose we have upset, don't we? We have loss and misfortune. Page of Swords is the spy. Reversed Page of Swords. Something about feeling freer because a certain energy has left. Maybe we feel less. Maybe we will feel less observed and judged. Is that because we will be letting go of sort of internal, maybe even old-fashioned religious ideas of being watched by an all-seeing God and that our lives are constantly being judged? What do you think? I mean, that's a huge question, isn't it? And I think that we can just take those cards away from us if we want and think about them. A Five of Cups and a reversed Page of Swords. Interesting. That was Maria's question. I have Remy on my list. If you have time, I also have a question after me. A relationship spread for 2 Geminis next year. Remy, I just need you to tell me a little bit more about the question. Are you saying that this is about you, who are a Gemini, plus in a relationship with someone else who is a Gemini, and you would like to know about how that might work out next year? Is that what you meant? Okay, just pop me a message down. Muskan, can you tell me if I've already met my twin flame? That's a very open question, Muskan. But as I was saying earlier on in the evening, if you want to ask the cards that, I will ask the cards that. This will be yes, no, or I don't know, or we are not saying, okay? I'll do 4 cards for you. Has Muskan already met their twin flame? Okay, Muskan, the cards do not have an answer for you. Okay, that's one of my 3 possible readings for a yes/no question that I do during live streams. We have 4 cards, 2 upright, 2 reversed. I'm afraid the tarot is not saying this evening. Okay. Now let me see, deep breath. Let me see if Rami just gave me a clarifying message. And then Irina. So Rami says what? Rami, maybe inside that, you channel message like crazy. Yes, please. But we talk about splitting and being friends, it would be easier. Very open to everything. Okay, Rami, I think I have an idea of what we're talking about now. So it's you and another Gemini, okay? I will do 3 cards, you, the other Gemini, and the relationship, okay? Okay, we've got 3 cards here, Remy. That is you, that's the other person, and that's the relationship. So we have a 5 of swords for you, a 6 of cups for the other person, and a 7 of coins reversed for the relationship. Now, the advice that this card gives me is that you have to accept defeat in some area of the relationship. There's something about it. There's something about a negotiation which feels like a defeat, or something didn't work out the way you wanted it to work out. And 5 of Swords is always about, please accept that, and you can move on into more favorable conditions. Okay, so I just put that out, and then let's go on to the other cards. The other person, 6 of Cups, is the other person has nice memories of what has gone down in this relationship, what has happened in this relationship. The other person thinks about your time together with great pleasure. What does that mean for the 2 of you? A reversed 7 of Pentacles. I would say spend time resolving it now. Don't let it slide. Um, uh, don't put things on hold too much. I think dive in and try to get to the bottom of it, of what's not quite right. I think it would be a pity if it just all sort of cooled down and stopped. Okay, it's not going to fix itself, is what I'm getting. If you just wait for it to organically change, it will just, I think, cool down and stop growing. I think it needs attention, this relationship, and it needs commitment from both of you to sort it out. Okay, sooner rather than later. Okay, that's what I'm getting from those three cards. Deep breath. That was 3 cards for Amy. And I have here somebody else asked for something. Irina, I had a very unusual and powerful dream last night. Can tarot tell me what does it mean? Thank you. Well, wow, what a question, Irina. I'm not quite sure whether you've given me enough to work on to get my teeth into there. I mean, as a friend, I would say I think dreams are incredibly important, but don't rack your brains too much about it, because I think, I mean, carry on remembering it, note it down, and think about it, and just enjoy it. But that information has already gone into your system anyway. We can't understand dreams because they are in a language that applies to our multidimensional self, and we don't have enough dimensions in our minds to translate them. But Irina, if you can phrase that differently, if you can give me another way of answering that question, do, okay? But at the moment, the way you've asked me that question, I don't know where to begin. I can't give you an interpretation of the dream without knowing what the dream is. I think if you were sitting in the room with me, we could have a half-hour session talking about it, perhaps. Or, you could do an online session with me, buy me a few coffees. By the way, anyone, you can buy me a coffee if I give you a, oh great, Maria, dear friend, I sent you a little coffee. There, you took the words out of my mind. Guys, you can buy me a little tiny coffee if you want to. So, Irina, I'm going to leave the ball in your court for a little bit, okay? And just check the chat. Kim. Kim, yes, just ask a question. I'll put you on the list. I will take questions until 7 o'clock GMT, and then I'll stop taking questions and hopefully answer the questions that have been asked. Rainy, okay. Dear friend, I sent you a coffee. Thank you, Maria. Thank you, Remy. Oh. Very accurate, good. Okay, Kim Mai. Okay, Kim, I'm going to just attend to Irina's question first, because she's on the list first, and then I'll answer your question. Return home or stay where I am? Okay, Irina, return home or stay where I am? Let's do 2 cards for each. So it's an either-or question, yeah? Should Irina return home or stay where she is? Correct me if I'm wrong about the question. Okay. Return home. Stay where I am. Page of Swords. King of Cups. Irina, it looks a bit like the devil and the deep blue sea. Do you know that expression? There's not a lot to choose between the two of them, actually. That's return home. That's stay where I am. Return home. Ace of Swords. 10 of Swords. Stay where I am. Page of Swords. Reversed King of Cups. Stay where I am. It feels like the people around you are not particularly warm and supportive at the moment. I mean, the Page of Swords is not inherently a very warm card. And the King of Cups there is fine, but he's reversed, so it feels like he's a bit unreachable. Whoever these people are, whether they're men or women, but I don't feel that you're very, very supported where you are. Now, in a way, here are your return home cards. The Ace of Swords and the 10 of Swords. Now, they look quite harsh, but I think that's the better option, return home, because the Ace of Swords, when it just appears like that, often it's a thumbs up from heaven. It's like, it's a yes, that is the right way ahead. And if you've got a 10 of Swords there, it might be that when you get home, you've got something, it might bring you down. It might feel like the low point of a cycle. But the thing about the 10 of Swords is that things tend to get better after you've been through that experience, because it is the low point of the cycle. It's the moment before things start getting better. So I actually think that those two cards look better than those two cards. I don't really see anything particularly encouraging in those two cards. So on the cards that I see, return home. Yep. Okay. That was for Irina. My world. Hello, my world. I'm going to put you down on the list. And yes, I will answer for my world. And probably that is the last reading I will take this evening. But if there's anybody who I have missed, if there's anyone who asked me for a reading and I've missed it because I can't, the chat is this big scrolly thing, right? And I have to think of 10 things at once. Thanks, Irina. Just scream if you've already asked and I've missed you. Otherwise, I'll do Kim and then I'll do my world, okay? And then we can have a little chat and then it'll be 7 o'clock GMT and we'll gradually wind down. Okay, so Kim. I dreamt about a guy from my past last night. I was wondering what the cap is feeling towards me, brackets Aries. Kim, what do you mean by the cap? Sorry, I don't understand the cap. Do you mean Capricorn? Miss Moonlight, thank you for your thank you. Kim, could you just, in the chat, could you just tell me what you mean by the cap? Do you mean, I was wondering what the Capricorn is feeling towards me. I dreamt about a guy from my past last night. And of course, this is a difficult, he's a Capricorn, so okay. Of course, as we discussed earlier, this is a kind of one of those, the Germans would say grenzwertig. It's on the borders of being a question that the tarotist doesn't answer. How does he feel about me? Because the thing is, do I have permission to look into his mind? What I can do, I think what I do have permission to do, is to do a relationship spread. You, the Capricorn guy, and the way the relationship is working between you, okay? So I'll do that. Let's go into Morgan Greer. So this is for Kim Mai and the Capricorn. Kim Mai, the Aries and the Capricorn. How are they relating at the moment? Kim saw the Cap in a dream last night. Okay. Kim, well, I think that there's a limit to how much I can tell you, but I will tell you what I see in the cards, okay? Looks quite interesting. So this is your card here, reverse moon. That's the Capricorn. Interestingly enough, you've got Knight of Pentacles, haven't you? And I guess Capricorn is an earth sign. And that's how the relationship's functioning. The connection is functioning. So, I mean, it seems to me that you're a bit discombobulated by your dream here. This Knight of Pentacles is one of my favorite signs. He is present. He is not running away. He's reliable. Now, I don't know how things stand between you. I don't know how much distance there is between you at the moment. But I think on some level, there is rather a nice connection between you two. I think you make each other feel safe. So that's what I see in the cards. It's a sort of reading that I don't like to go into in great depth because we're looking into someone else's thoughts who hasn't been consulted. But I'll let you just make of that what you will, and however you want to act on it, then that's your decision, okay? Deep breath for Kim's reading. And we've got one, I think, last reading here, unless anyone else screamed that I had forgotten them, from my world. You're not connected anymore, okay. It might be that you're connected in the dream world, and that's as good as it can get, you know. It might be that you have to let it go, but it seemed like quite a nice energy. Yeah. Okay, my world says, I hope you're well. If there's time, I'd like to know how things are going to pan out for me and Bill. Friendship or into something more romantic. Okay, again, my world, we face the limits of the tarot reader's art here, but there is always this 3-card relationship spread that we can do, and we can just see what the cards give us, okay? So there's my world and Bill. Let's just do a 3-card relationship. And if we can see friendship or something more romantic, okay, let's be as intuitive as we can here. My world and Bill. Let's give it a good shuffle. Last reading of the night, ladies and gentlemen. It's coming up to 7 GMT. My world and Bill. Page of Rods, Page of Rods, Page of Rods. I don't really find an easy way of looking at those three cards. My world, Seven of Swords for you, Chariot for Bill, Page of Rods for the relationship. Page of Rods, Earth of Fire. It seems like Bill is sort of full steam ahead at the moment. It looks like he's putting quite a lot of energy into his forward movement in his life. Finding out who he wants to be in the world and how he wants to make that work for him, and controlling the resources around him as best he can to get the maximum forward movement. And for you, that's a much more cerebral card. It looks like, frankly, it looks like you are giving more thought to this, more mental energy to this situation than he is. We've got someone here in motion, moving ahead, and you've got someone here planning and thinking and in a sense looking for a way of making things work out. I would say that at the moment, it doesn't look particularly romantic, the Page of Rods. I find the Page of Rods, it's a very helpful card. It's a very nice atmosphere. And I mean, it feels like the two of you could help each other to get ahead in life and to find opportunities and to find ways of expressing yourselves and being creative and so forth. It's a helpful card. It's the Page of Rods, I don't think is a particularly romantic card. So my world, what I'm seeing in the cards at the moment is I'm not seeing anything obviously romantic about this situation. Now that's not to say that things might not change, because as we were discussing earlier, we're always creating new probabilities in our lives. I think that is a description of how things are now, okay? So let's take a deep breath. I'm just going to see if I've missed anyone out. Enjoy a little coffee. Ooh, Irina, thank you. Yeah. We're helping each other with business-related matters. I think that's right. Have a wonderful friendship. I think you really genuinely can help each other to find opportunities. Yeah. Okay, everyone. Well, thanks for being here. Let's say that as far as the readings are concerned, that's it. But no hurry. We can say goodbye, happy Christmas. All correct. Thank you. Brilliant as always. Oh, that's very sweet of you. What did I want to say? Yes, if you're still there, guys, I don't think I'm going to read next Sunday because I have a creeping feeling that that's bang in the middle of Christmas, might even be Christmas, or might be Boxing Day. Um, I think I'm useless, aren't I? I think that I do plan on reading shortly after Christmas. I will announce it on the three different platforms. I'll schedule a reading, schedule a live stream. I'll announce it in my community posts, and I'll also make a short announcing it. So it'll be 7, 8, 9 days time. Some nice opportunity. Redwing, I like your approach to readings, Robert. Solstice blessings to everyone. Solstice blessings to everyone. Merry Christmas. Have a great holiday, all of you. Elle Phillips, thank you. Merry Christmas. Thanks for tuning in. And thanks for all you lovely people who sent me copies down the internet tubes. I will enjoy them in the flesh. Bye. Bye.